Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. It is time for the WADcast, episode number 115. This is the Writers, Actors, Directors podcast. And, quite frankly, every other job on a set in between. Looking at you, best boy. And I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by that guy from California. I got nothing. Brandon.
What? What do you keep saying from California? I'm not from California. I live in this shithole.
Okay, the guy broadcasting from California.
There we go. That's more like it.
Here's you.
You're so stupid. Happy Friday, everybody. It's good to actually be back on the WADcast. We took a little bit of an extended break. The last 2 weeks now. We usually don't do that, but
holidays, holidays.
Yeah. Holidays and
dying.
And you've got a bunch of little human larvae running around that you got to take care of, and I've got two canine larvae that are running around that I got to take care of. So, it's a busy time of the year. So, on top of that, it didn't really help that I've been sick for. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with it. I've been sick for going on almost a week now. So it sucks, but. But that's what we do. We suffer, right? We even if we're sick, we are here to entertain and discuss and just hash out topics. So,
yep,
yeah. But and we actually and there's a topic that for the last 2 weeks now. For 2 weeks, I've been wanting to discuss this because I feel like it's so overhyped and overrated. And it's just, and it's and the director, I made a Facebook post earlier that there's no director that I can think of that sucks themselves up as much as this guy does. And it is James Cameron. And it pains me to say it because I like James Cameron.
I really do. For a second.
No. If you are, yeah, we're going to save the sucking off jokes for another show. But but James Cameron, he's no stranger to controversy with his thoughts on other forms of cinema. He had this whole diatribe about how the comic book movies are not real movies. It's not real cinema. He went very Martin Scorsese on that one.
Yeah. And
then he got humbled by, Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
When it decimated the box office returns of Avatar so badly that James Cameron did what James Cameron does best, and he's like, you know what, I can't be defeated, so I'm going to re-release Avatar now.
Re-release it,
and it turned into more of it's more of a spectacle with him. Now, Avatar 2 came out a few short weeks ago, and it's doing great at the box office. It's doing amazing at the box office. It's raking in the revenue. It's really bringing it in. I believe they're coming up to the $2 billion number, right?
The Way of Water?
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually have that number right here. At the moment, they are sitting at 1.5.
Okay, so there we are. See, it's dying down. The hype for this movie is dying down. People saw it, but it's not. It might break even afterwards with DVD and Blu-ray sales. That's a possibility, but it's also a possibility that it won't, because not many people you don't go to Target or Walmart or wherever and see the DVD racks completely sold out like they used to be.
I don't think you even see the racks.
But the DVD sections have actually become very limited in a lot of these places. It's not like it was 5-6 years ago.
And
But
it's not like there's going to be a bidding war for where this thing's going to wind up in streaming because it's going to be on Disney Plus.
yeah. And so that being the case, in the movie group we're in, I hear you've seen me catch flack over my opinions on the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have one big thing, and I've said it, and I will continue to say it. Avatar was barely okay. It was an all right movie. Nothing special. What made it special was the VFX. Avatar 2. It's an okay movie. It's not a story like that. It's not a story that's new to me. It's just like it just takes place on other planets. But invaders are attacking this planet. Us, Earthlings, are attacking this planet, trying to get more unobtainium and colonize it, I guess. I already forgot the basic reason why we went back there after 10 years of being gone. But the natives have to retreat and leave their homes and go seek out help from other tribes to fight this foreign invader and learn about this other planet.
Right.
But it's like it's the kids get kidnapped. The kids don't like the kids. They're not kidnapped now. Oh no, they're still kidnapped. It was just a ruse. Like, okay, whatever. But what made these movies special is the visual effects. If you take away the visual effects, these movies would be boring as hell. Everyone says you have to experience these movies. I experienced both of them in IMAX and 3D. I'll tell you right now, I didn't really come away with anything. It's like, oh, it's a pretty movie. Okay, great. This is a 3-hour-long, beautiful film. I forgot what I watched. Nothing stuck to me. But then you have like classic lines like another James Cameron film, Aliens. Away from her, you bitch line when she's in that power loader and she's trying to fight the Queen Alien. That's a memorable line.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop holding his hand over was it Hicks? Whoever Bill Paxton played, I forget which character that was. But he puts his hand over his hand and does like the knife game thing. That's a classic scene. Now, even Bill Paxton's lines like "Game over, man, game over." Like, I mean, these are great lines in these movies. I can't think of a single thing that stuck out to me in Avatar, 1 or 2. Not one. Like, I can't. All I can think of is the dude traveled across half the galaxy to go hook up with the wildlife on that planet. That's about it. The sentient wildlife.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen either Avatar. I don't know what it is. You would think, beautiful sci-fi epic, that's right up my alley. For some reason, I look at these and I'm like, I got nothing for it.
Yeah, this dude legit goes to another planet. He's a paraplegic. He goes to another planet. He gets into his alien body, his avatar. He's like Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan got new legs. And then he's like, oh, wow, I had this blue alien penis. I wonder how this works. Well, oh, look. Look, alien life form that looks like me. We're compatible while I'm in this body. And he's in the military. Can you imagine having to explain that to your superiors?
I hate to see who's holding on to that situation report for a little extra time.
Like, James Cameron wrote this. I mean, it is seriously, it is Jason Mewes from Clerks 2, when he's talking about how he could have been an astronaut. You know the scene I'm talking about, right?
Of course.
I could be an astronaut. I could go to another. I could go to an alien planet, find a strange alien, and screw it. He's like, come back. People are like, there he goes. Homeboy screwed a Martian once.
You'll never be forgotten.
James Cameron was watching Clerks too. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh God.
I've seen everything else James Cameron's done. I will say I'm on the same track of Titanic being more fondly remembered for its effects than the actual story. And the story was fine.
Yeah.
I thought to see that kind of story with those kinds of effects married was interesting. And it played out fine. But I'm going to say True Lies is my favorite James Cameron movie. Period. Because that makes, it's funny. I like funny things. And Terminator 2. You have all of these great movies. The Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss. So, again, got to say, I haven't seen Avatar, but I couldn't imagine that is a better movie, story-wise, than any of these other things that he's done.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is my hill to die on, where I'm like, I just don't want to watch Avatar. I guess it kind of comes from the same place of, Game of Thrones. That's a thing, I guess. I don't know. Everyone says it's great. I'm sure, people love it for valid reasons, whatever they may be. But I look at it and I'm like, it's not my bag.
Yeah.
When I sit down and when I pay with my time, as far as investment, I want to be able to see something, watch something that I enjoy. Sometimes something is just so bad that you wind up enjoying it because it's hilarious. But I mean, again, not saying these movies are bad. I'm just saying I just don't feel I will have I don't feel my time would have been invested wisely.
Yeah, I get that. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, I absolutely get that. But it's like you go back to these to things like Avatar, where it's like so hyped up, but you see other movies that have come out over the years that are, I don't know, like amazing films. They may not do great at the box office, but they're amazing films, right?
Yeah.
And one of them, let me see it real quick. There was one I was pulling up the other day. Now I wanted to explicitly talk about, like, with this. I want a sweepstakes bonus. That's a scam. It is. Like, okay, like now I know our show's about like the highest grossing films versus the highest rated films or overrated films.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it.
Yeah, but okay, that's right. Shawshank Redemption.
I've seen that one.
It's an amazing film.
It is. It's really good.
It's a very good film.
Based on a short story by Stephen King.
Yep. Now, domestically, it flopped. $25 million budget, $28 million taken. Now, of course, this is in the mid 90s when this movie. Yeah, I think it was like 93, 94, 95, somewhere around there when it came out.
Yeah.
But it is a movie that absolutely flopped, and it did better internationally. That's where it got it to, like, I guess, like the $70 million mark. But as time went on, it gained a lot of accreditation with a lot of people. Like, it gained this acclaim and this cult following, and much long ado appreciation. So that being the case, like you have this where things like Avatar, it's a high grossing film. Well, not yet. It's doing good. It made back the initial budget for the movie, but it still has a ways to go to actually make a turn a profit for the studio. That being the case, with this happening, would you say it's overrated? Would you say that it's successful in the box office? Would you do you think it'll do better like when it goes to Disney Plus? And then I guess it counts for how many times it's been watched on Disney Plus across different accounts.
I will say that when it comes to critical ratings, from everything I've seen so far, and all of even the way the people that love the movie have talked about it, it's sitting, right around just under like 4 stars.
Yeah.
To me, that's, in the pretty good range. And, passing 4 stars, it's like, oh, this is a great movie. You should give it a shot. 5 stars, of course, masterpiece. So it's sitting in the pretty good range. So I think critically, and like I said, the fans rating the movie based on the content of the story, it's pretty accurately rated. Just from
Yeah.
what I've heard. The only praise that I ever hear from it is, well, like you said, people saying it's an experience that you have to see.
I don't get that. Like I still don't get that.
I've
Like
yet to see anybody really praise the story behind it. Although there was one commenter, I wish I remember the name so I could properly accredit it. One commenter said that the Way of Water is more of a lore building episode to bridge the first and the third movies. And I was like, I get that.
Like, yeah, that's usually what happens with a sequel.
Well,
It's nothing
I
new.
think we're saying what the end game is, oh, you wanted a story? Where are you going to get the story in the third one? But if I'm watching a movie, I want a story in that one too.
Like honestly, and like the way I look at it, like there's an article I shared earlier from talking about James Cameron, talking about now he feels like he has to finish the story now because people want more Avatar. Like, which brought me to my point of like this guy is just sucking himself off nonstop. This guy is like that, like that crippled guy in Scary Movie 2, when the girl's coming on to him and he's like, "I don't need your help. I can do it myself." And he's like yoking his legs over his head, and he's like just going to town on him. So that's it's James Cameron to me. God, this is like a very James Cameron hate speech going on here, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not annoyed by this. That's how annoyed I am by this. People like talking about how great Avatar. It's like I feel like it's turned into the same tolerance for me as when someone started spouting off about politics. Like I don't care. But since you're involving me, let me go ahead and tell you why it's okay. Now, but coming away from this, you have movies. Like I know this is like a much delayed entry into our initial topic, but you have movies that are like high grossing movies, and you have movies that are very high rated movies that may not be high grossing movies. Like, I mean, I can give you a very, very high rated movie right now that was not high grossing and is now, due to a lot of fanfare, might be a possibility at some point for them to revisit. With like the producers, the directors, like the actors, all them interested in coming back for this movie, for the sequel. That I don't see why it never even existed. Dread. with Carl Urban. It's a much more comic accurate version. I know it's a comic book movie, but it's a comic accurate version of Judge Dredd versus what you got in the 1990s with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
that was like it was like that was to this Dredd what the 1960s Batman was to Tim Burton's Batman in 1989.
I'd say it's more the Schumacher Batman.
Yeah, or even that, like the Schumacher version versus Christopher Nolan's version. So
I am the
law. Yeah, I am the law. Like, okay. You got an actor that refuses to wear the helmets and wants his face on screen as much as possible, which is something you never saw the character's face in the comics, but we're going to do it for the movie because, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that could be a whole show in itself, where they're like, normally these people don't, these characters don't show their faces, but for some reason, the directors, the writer, whatever, decided we're going to see a lot of their faces. Halo comes to mind.
Oh, that's right. See, I watched the first episode of Halo. I hear it's an okay series, but I also heard that Master Chief was without his helmet quite a bit.
It seems weird to see somebody that's, normally you don't have a face to associate with, but now suddenly, here's a face.
Yeah. Oh, this is what it looks like. Oh, no, it's not.
That's not canon.
God.
I think the thing that the 90s Judge Dredd did have going for it was an action comedy with Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider. I mean, you knew what you were going to get.
He was so out of place in that movie.
Was he, though?
It's not a comic series. Like, it's not a comedy series at all. And then you had Armand Assante with his overacting.
It was made during a time, was around the Schumacher times, because you got these directors that are adapting, comic book movies, and it seemed like the popular mindset for these types of properties was that they're comic books, they're over the top, they're cartoony,
Yeah.
We don't have to take this seriously. Let's just ham it up. And it wasn't until a little bit later, say, you know what, this might be sacrilege to some of you, but even Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies were just,
campy as hell.
Yeah. I'd say Blade really helped turn things around.
Yeah.
And the first couple of X-Men movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, Blade was not afraid to show that you could have a movie about a gritty character. Because I mean, the only thing you knew about Blade at that point was the version you saw in the Spider-Man cartoon, where he had like that fire laser sword or whatever it was. So, like, that's the only thing I ever knew about Blade was from the at that point, because I was still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of him before outside of the Spider-Man cartoon. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's going to have like a laser sword. Oh no, he's actually dismembering people with this thing. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Will Morbius be the villain in this one? 20 plus years later on, I'm like, oh,
please.
This could have waited like 20 some odd more years. Like,
Blade can totally kill Morbius now. I'd be okay with that.
See, I think Morbius would have done better if it was released in the 90s.
Possibly, yeah.
Like, I think it was released in the wrong decade. It should have been released in the 90s because it was just that campy. I mean, you have the one guy doing the vampire dance. You have what's his face? I'm gonna think of it. The guy who played Morbius is on the tip of my tongue. I'm just tired. Jared Leto. You have him with the whole "it's Morbin time" shit, whatever the hell that meant.
Was that
But
actually in the movie? Full
yeah, that was
disclosure,
that
I
that was
haven't
in the
seen
movie.
Morbius.
Yeah, that was absolutely in the movie. It's morbid time.
I thought it
Like,
was just the fans taking the piss out of the producers.
no, nope. He says it. It's morbid time.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
That's the
Okay.
thing.
I can't say that it entices me to want to go see more, to want to watch. It's on Netflix. I still haven't watched it. I love comic book movies and I haven't watched it. I watch every piece of crap that DC puts out, but I still watch it for some reason. Morbius, no.
Speaking of which, you know what? I'm going to go off topic again. Can you believe the whole thing with DC with like the fan base with like the Zack Snyder fans versus James Gunn fans? But the one thing that they're doing, like James Gunn, for those of you that are not familiar with this, James Gunn is wiping away all of the DCEU.
Except
Everyone except
possibly
for
Ezra Miller.
everyone except for Ezra Miller. I'm like, okay, I know The Rock had some stuff going on with Black Adam. I know that there was like a little exchange between him and James Gunn and what they both think is best. I can see how that could be like problematic for the workplace. Amber Heard with Aquaman. I know that was a little bit of a tiff going on last year with her and Johnny Depp.
Oh, did they have a thing?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. There's a whole trial lawsuit, but it's like Henry Cavill, like the will I, won't I? I'm going to leave The Witcher to go, play Superman again, and oh no, I'm not playing Super. Like, so I can get like where certain things come into play.
Yeah.
But thank God they kept the guy that had pretty much been proven to have groomed and practically kidnapped a girl, drove her across country, left just choke slams a woman, gets drunk, gets into fights, mouths off, threatens to beat up fans. All this wonderful stuff. I'm happy they're keeping that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm looking at this thinking like, I don't get it. I get what Amber's saying. The money talks, but what money? Like this guy that plays the Flash. First off, have you seen the guy?
Getting a little bit frozen there. Yeah, looks like Brandon froze up. So in the meantime, the Witcher is a bit more than him just leaving to play Superman again, which now he's not. Yeah, of course, the reports going around that he was also very dissatisfied with the direction the producers are going to take the show, because he is a Witcher fan. He's a Witcher fanboy. So when he found out the direction that they wanted to take the series, I possibly used the Superman excuse to be able to bail out at the right moment, and then the Superman excuse went away. So now he's going to follow one of his other passion projects, which is Warhammer. So more power to him.
Yeah.
In fact, we were talking about him. Well, I wasn't, but they were talking about him on TV Dinners last night. Another fabulous WADcast media production, and gave me a reason to put that up. So yeah, we now have Henry.
I'm not gay, but I would probably for free.
There's always an exception.
Oh God!
Only the Sith deal in absolutes.
You know what cracks me up? That's an absolute though. So clearly the Jedi dealt with absolutes too.
No, which is the Jedi response.
Yeah. Yeah. As Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Like my natural reaction, if I were Anakin, would be like, that's an absolute. Oh God. There's a reason why would never be allowed to write a Star Wars movie because it would actually, you know, I would include those little lines back and forth, like the little snappy, like,
You would make it a comedy.
I would. There'd be some like Spaceball shit in there somewhere.
I would not be opposed to a Star Wars goofy comedy.
Could you imagine if during the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, when they're clashing lightsabers on Mustafar and all that stuff, uh Anakin like is like, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Like it's like, what was like, I will do what I must, like, you will try. And then Obi-Wan's like, your mother. And Anakin goes into full meltdown mode.
Before he goes into full melt mode?
Yeah. Well, I mean, barbecue mode, yeah. he, goes, he, goes back, he comes back as a Force Ghost. Obi-Wan looks at his legs like, I thought I chopped those off.
The last line in what was it? Return. Anyway, the last line when it comes to the Force Ghost should have just been Force Ghost Anakin looking at Force Ghost Obi-Wan and going, "Dick," and then wipe credits.
Oh God. We have not discussed a single thing that we were supposed to discuss tonight so far, outside of Avatar for 5 minutes.
So it's been 20 plus minutes of why James Cameron is a self-flating, self-aggrandizing director.
Well, I mean, there's an episode.
I got to say some stuff too.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like I've been like just holding this back for like 2.5 weeks now, of hearing everyone talk so highly about the Avatar movies. I can't. I don't get it like at all.
Okay, so let's wipe the board real quick, okay? Now, Avatar: The Way of Water came out in 2022. And
yeah,
so far it is, I think, it actually passed Top Gun to be the top grossing film of 2022. It is now number one, right up there. It's made the most money. Here's the thing. As you know, as I hope a lot of you are, I know you are, I'm an avid user of Letterboxd. I don't like write reviews every time I watch. I use it to catalog the movies that I watch and give them the ratings. But they're a great place for sort of, keeping track of things, movie related, especially. And they just released their, what do you call it? The wrap up. They're kind of nerdy analytics for the year that just passed, like Spotify does, like a lot of other people do. For some reason, like I got a Grubhub wrap up, and I'm like, oh, you're just telling me how much I ordered Chinese food this year. That's great. And I got to remember every time I see that, it has that like extra $25 just for the convenience, right? Anyway, that's different stuff. So one of the things they did was, they got the top rated films of 2022 and, compiled all sorts of lists around all of, the highest rated films, stuff from the fans, stuff from, critics that use the service. All of these different people come together and, giving their ratings. Now, you would think, being the highest grossing movie of all time, not of all time, but of all 2022, that Avatar: The Way of Water would have a prominent spot on this list, right, of the highest rated films of the year. It would just go to logic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what the highest, according to Letterboxd, the highest rated films of the year are. All right. You ready?
Now, are these like highest rated and highest grossing, or just highest rated, like despite financial revenue?
Finances, completely
Completely all.
irrelevant.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Just the highest rated films of last year, of which Avatar took top box office. So, just for the sake of brevity, I'm gonna go to the top 10. Number
Mm-hmm.
10, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay.
Number 9, Puss in Boots. The Last Wish. Number 8, RRR.
Okay.
I kind of had me worried.
I'm
It looked
listening.
like you were stepping into the light.
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay, number 7, Argentina, 1985.
Okay.
Number 6, Burning Days. Number 5, After Sun. Number 4, Mars 1. So surely Avatar: The Way of Water did wind up in the top 3. So number 3, Marcel with the Shoes On. Kooky little movie about a shell that walks around. Number 2, Kadaisi Vivasai. I said that totally wrong, and I don't know how to say it right. So either way, that's not Avatar: The Way of Water. So there's only one movie left, the number 1 movie of 2022, ratings-wise. It has to be it. Let's check the screen over here. And sure enough, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I actually have yet to see that one.
And that is the highest rated movie of 2022, according, to people voting or just that. They don't even vote for these things. It's just they took the analytics from everybody that has seen it and averaged their star ratings, and it seems that is the movie that had the highest aggregate average of stars, and not anywhere in here. And by the way, it goes to 13 the 13 highest rated films. Avatar: The Way of Water not on the list anywhere.
Huh. Good.
So there is certainly a discrepancy between the movies that make the most money versus the movies that people love most. People will definitely go to the theater to see a spectacle, but it doesn't mean that spectacle is something that will stand the test of time, because maybe it's a little different these days considering how advanced a lot of the technology is. But at the end of the day, at some point, both avatars are going to look dated. And
absolutely.
at that point, you're going to have to rely on the story to carry it through. And that's how you go from being, a spectacle to one of the all-time greatest movies. Jurassic Park, some of the CG is starting to feel their age, but you still have that solid story as the basis.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll watch a movie that's the latest episode of 10-1 was about sci-fi films from the 1970s that were based on Earth.
Okay.
The 70s. not an era known for the greatest special effects, right? But
I mean, it depends. I mean, Space Odyssey was
60s.
amazing. But I mean, I'm just saying that as old as that movie is, though, the movie's still amazing, and the special effects in it they still hold up.
Yeah.
Except for the
Yeah.
whole space baby thing, that's just kind of a weird thing, but still the rest of it, I'm
I'm
winning my
just
glasses.
saying, specifically the 70s, the movies that came out in the 70s. There was some good stuff. They were trying out some different things, but they were also trying out things that over the next couple of decades did my camera move? Weird.
Yeah, I did that with my mind.
Sorry, people.
Now zoom in.
No. But they're going to be using technology that's would over the next couple of decades sort of be upgraded, and it would make a lot of the stuff from that era feel dated. I mean that's just. But when you go through earlier decades, you got films that with special effects that hold up. It usually comes from a very practical standpoint. So much so that you'll have movies decades later emulating some of these tricks. Look at Elf, right?
Oh yeah. Oh god.
I know. It's not exact. When someone says, "Hey, what about Elf?"
It's memorable. It's a very memorable movie.
But you don't think about it for its special effects, right?
No, but it's well, I do. Because and they use it. Yeah, they use the same camera work that they used in Lord of the Rings, right? Like they had the whole having him I guess what was what's it called? What's that
Force
style of shooting?
perspective.
That's it. Yes. So yeah.
And the thing is, that's just an old trick.
Oh yeah.
That's
been used for decades.
New. They didn't use CG to make these scenes with Buddy and the elves. They didn't use green screen a lot, but the force perspective stuff they did, that is an effect as old as cinema, as old as film.
And you got to give it up to and you still have to give it up to Will Ferrell for making himself physically ill, just eating that spaghetti and syrup combination that he put together, and actually eating it too. Made himself super sick just doing it. But I mean that movie is also, it's a classic. That movie was 2003, 2004. But
that.
it's a movie that's still years later. You can go back and watch that movie or show it to someone, and it's so stupid, but it's hysterical. Like things like him just walking across the street and getting hit by the taxi cab, and it's just going up in the air. The whole movie is just so dumb. But this is a highly rated movie, and I don't think it was a massive box office success, was it? When it came out.
You're making me I don't like it when you make me hold on. Elf 2003, starring Will Ferrell, directed by Jon Favreau.
Let me ask my 1 second. Was Elf a box office bomb? Outlook good.
So that means the 8-Ball thinks it was considered a bomb?
Yeah.
Okay. So with a budget of $33 million, it had a worldwide gross of $227 million.
Okay, I need to get a new 8-Ball. This one sucks.
That 8-Ball has no taste.
This is why my life sucks, because I consult the 8-Ball all the time. So all my poor life choices are because of the 8-Ball. So
that explains everything.
I didn't realize it did that good. That's actually, I mean, it makes sense because it's a great movie. But
Released in a traditionally dry period, November.
Yeah. Yeah,
Christmas
me and
movie.
my buddy Steve went to go see it together. We went out like on a mandate to go see it. Apparently, we were supposed to take our girlfriends at the time to go with us, and we didn't know that. So we're talking about this movie as we're coming into the front door, and the girls are sitting on the couch, like just going back and forth with each other, like just joking about stuff. And they're like, "Oh, where'd you guys go?" I was like, "Oh, we just saw Elf." That Christmas tree part, man, like when he just launches off the couch to go climb the tree. I can tell you right now, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard; it was so stupid. But
Bye,
they
buddy.
had
I hope you find your dad. Memorable lines.
Or Santa, and don't eat the gum. It's not candy. Like, but see, this is what makes a great movie, though. And this is where James Cameron, I think, fell short with Avatar. Outside of the dude, like, and here's my one per episode. Aside from a story about a crippled guy going across the galaxy to go fuck the wildlife, there's nothing I can think of about Avatar that sticks out at all. The guy, like, there's no line, there's no dialogue that really hits it for me.
Mm-hmm.
There, like, there's nothing. I mean, it is Pocahontas. There's no way around it. It is Pocahontas.
I prefer Fern Gully myself, but
Fern Gully, whatever. But the thing is Fern Gully, he didn't really betray his coworkers, and he didn't lead a rebellion against them. But Pocahontas, he actually, John Smith, which look at the Disney versions, all kinds of creepy considering. Well, you know what? That's a different episode. But you know, John Smith, Pocahontas, they kind of had like the little thing in the Disney movie. There's something, right? I guess.
yeah,
And
not
he
not an
leads.
actual real thing.
Yeah, no, it's so far from historically accurate. Oh, I kicked my my tripod here. Excuse me. It's so historically inaccurate, but that's neither here nor there. But in the Disney version, John Smith, Mel Gibson, leads Pocahontas. I'm sorry, goes and like learns about Pocahontas and her people. She has that one dude that has a huge thing for her, right? They end up getting really pissy because how dare she like the White Devil? They didn't say White Devil in the movie. They never. I don't think they ever say that, but they don't trust the colonizers.
And as in real life, they shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I mean, we gave them blankets. Ooh, that's. I don't feel good about that joke.
The next T-shirt coming from Wadco Media and the WADcast, we gave them blankets.
I'm so tired. Oh man. And this is how Thanksgiving happened. So you
Adam's
thought we were just
Family
talking about
Values.
movies. Yeah.
That's Thanksgiving.
That's that. I am a turkey. Eat me.
Okay.
Memorable lines.
Let's clear the board once again. I want to talk about the highest grossing films of all time and see if we can find some sort of common denominator with these. So, again, for the sake of brevity, we'll just start with number 10. So, number 10, The Avengers. Number 9, Avatar: The Way of Water. Number 8, The Lion King. Number 7, Jurassic World. Number 6,
Really?
Spider-Man. Yes.
Jurassic World?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Hold on.
It's another beautiful cartoon.
hold on. No way this can be right. Huh.
It
When
just
I
probably
said
like
when I
caused
said
this.
the Lion King, I thought it was the original Lion King. No, the remake.
The remake sucked.
The remake is number 8 all-time grossing film.
Oh my god, what is going on with people's standards?
Number 6, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Number 5, Avengers: Infinity War. Number 4, Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh god. Well, I get that one though because it looked like it was going to be a good movie when when we saw the trailers. Yeah, I get that
And it
one.
was the first,
The first new Star Wars movie with that storyline since Revenge of the Sith.
yeah,
Yeah.
the first post OG movie. Number 3, Titanic. Number 2, Avengers: Endgame. And of course, the number 1 movie, highest grossing, Avatar. Now, first of all, everyone jumps on to James Cameron's jock, when it comes to, well, he has 3 of the top 10 films, highest grossing films of all time. But I just realized something.
Did you adjust for inflation?
No, I didn't. Just Gone with the Wind still has the number 1 spot,
Yep.
adjusted for inflation.
I was going to say, yeah.
So, you have. I'm gonna loosely connect some dots here. So, you have the Avengers, you have the remake of Lion King, you have Spider-Man: No Way Home, you have Avengers: Infinity War, you have Star Wars, you have another Avengers movie. Well, let's just say 3 of the top 10 films, highest grossing films, are Avengers movies. But you know what all of them have in common? The through line through all of these movies?
But
Jon Favreau.
yeah.
And his fingerprints. I mean, he directly directed the Lion King remake, but as far as his fingerprints as a director go, that is what 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess Star Wars is still a bit on the. He did the Mandalorian.
I was
That
going to
was
say, but
after
yeah,
the
he
Force
did.
Awakens.
Yeah, that was J.J. Abrams. So I mean, you can't get that to like him. But not to discard, not to discount the Mandalorian. Shit's amazing. But
he did work on the franchise. No, but we'll say 4, 3 Avengers, 4 Marvel movies in the top 10. So
okay,
here's the thing: Jon Favreau directed the first 2 Iron Man movies, right? Yes.
I think so. Did he direct Iron Man 1?
Mm-hmm. So his vision, if you will, is the thing that really set the tone for the entire MCU.
Yeah.
He set the style. He set the ratio of action to comedy and all that.
Hmm.
So if you want to unofficially give him some, setup props, then 5 out of the top 10 grossing films of all time are kind of his, responsibility.
Yeah.
Half
Besides,
of
you know
them.
what?
Half of them. Is that a stretch?
No, not at
Am I
all.
stretching too
Let
much?
me see. Plus, I mean, okay, you look at. Here's the big thing. I mentioned this earlier with James Cameron. He prides himself on Avatar, and he honestly does act like it's all him. It's all his work that made this successful, right? Not the VFX team. Now, we all know, if you haven't been living under a rock, what the Avatar movies, what the aliens and the surroundings and all that stuff look like.
Hmm.
But I want to take a second to absolutely praise the VFX team for Iron Man. Because there are scenes in this movie that, well, I mean, let's face it, anytime you see Iron Man in his suit, it's CGI. Anytime. Doesn't matter. Anytime you see Iron Man in his suit, it's CGI. That scene when he is right before he takes down that tank with that little, like, wrist rocket that he's got going on, right?
Hmm.
When he's flying through the air and he gets knocked out of the sky, you see this close-up shot. You see his hand coming out of the hole and pulling himself out of the hole. But you see like close-up shot of his face helmet. I did not know when I saw this movie. I was well into my 20s when I saw this movie in theaters. I didn't know that was a CGI shot. I thought they actually had like a practical effect shot of him getting up because it was that realistic looking. You look back at it, you can kind of see that it's not real, right? Like you can kind of see that it looks like it's kind of CGI because it was 2008 and the advances. What they've done with Iron Man as time went on, I feel like it started looking more. I feel like we're repeating Jurassic Park. Going back to Jurassic Park, looking at the CGI for the dinosaurs and the programs they had to make these dinosaurs at the time in 1992, when the movie came out in 93. Those dinosaurs looked amazing. Yeah. The scene with the T-Rex coming out of its, out of its, surroundings, out of its gate, whatever you want to call it. That looks so damn real. Seeing that, like in 1993. As time went on, CGI kind of got like a little bit like more popular, but more cartoonish. I guess if that makes sense. You look at like the Lost World. It was still okay CGI, but it didn't really seem to be as good as Jurassic Park. Then Jurassic Park 3 came out. The CGI just looked really CGI, like bad CGI.
You can also throw in the remasters of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh god, Jabba the Hutt, man. All three versions of him from the from episode 4. It looks bad, but all the other ones. But it even repeat itself with things like with what do you call it? Episode 1 through 3. There was some really bad CGI. You look at it now, like well, I guess Star Wars is kind of unfair because Star Wars, it always looks like CGI to me. Anything that has CGI in Star Wars, it looks. But the remaster ones, yeah, looked out of place because that was made without the intention of having CGI for any of the characters.
Right.
Like it was all practical effects, and they just threw in the CGI Jawas and droids and whatever else. It just looked bad. But I don't know. It's like looking at these movies now, like with Iron Man, like as it went on, did you notice like how like the first movie it looked so great, and then by like Avengers Endgame, like yeah, it looked good, it was awesome, but I think it was like more fanfare for me. That kind of like blinded you to how plain and whatever the CGI really was.
Well, I'll tell you this. My opinion is that over the years, we've seen some very effective use of CGI in film. I think the best implementation of it is along the lines of Jurassic Park and Iron Man, where you are mixing it with practical effects. You're just kind of enhancing what's already there. Jurassic Park still had giant dinosaur puppets. Iron Man still had costume pieces for some of the scenes for the armor. I just think that when it comes to CG, less is more, unless you're doing an Avatar thing where it's just everything in the world. But mixing it with live action, I really believe less is more, that you should just use it as an enhancement tool and not a replacement tool. That's the one thing that I think the Marvel movies are really using as a crutch when it comes to some of their stuff. Even Endgame, Infinity War, things like that. Hulk, that
Yeah.
that one scene where Banner's in the Hulkbuster armor, and it just looks
Uh,
so out of
oh, are
place.
you talking about like the whole Wakanda scene?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's just like it's all CGI. You see like his one head's like, oh, you guys are screwed now. It's like, but he's like that. See like that little tiny. Yeah, it looks out of place.
so if there was some sort of, I don't know, something to kind of tie it into the reality that they're filming in, it probably would have made it work a lot better than just pretend there's something there and we'll
Oh
just kind
yeah.
of cut and paste, Mark Ruffalo's head. And, when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy, they have these
Oh
huge
god.
set pieces, right? These huge galactic images, but it works because it's the entire set that is produced by the computer. But when you're only producing set pieces with the computer, you see everything inversed. You can put somebody in it. You can put a real person in a fake world, but putting something fake in the real world, like completely, like something that is just absolutely not there, is a lot harder to make look realistic.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper. So
Oh, and real quick, I'm going to respond to somebody really quick here. I got a message from someone on my Facebook.
was it me?
No, not you. No. It's like an old buddy of mine. Listen, earlier, and it's not the kind of message you would think it is, but still, it's like it's about my joke earlier about the whole blankets bit, right? When we were talking about Pocahontas and Thanksgiving, whatever.
Oh, the
Like,
backlash was swift.
huh?
So the backlash was swift.
Oh well, yeah. Like I'm like it's not like I don't know if it's backlash or not, but my buddy, I'll call him D, says you know that never happened. That's all a liberal farce. We never, ever did anything to hunt down the indigenous people and then celebrate Thanksgiving from that. Listen, guys, I'm going to say this real quick. This is not a History Channel podcast. I made a joke. I kind of thought it was in bad taste because I felt bad after I made the joke, but I've got really dark humor. But historically speaking, look it up. Thanksgiving is not where we sat down at a picnic table and learned how to make corn and shared a turkey with the indigenous tribes. It's not Thanksgiving. Look at the actual way that Thanksgiving was made, a tradition, and the tradition is pretty damn horrific. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm going to take a cue. Just do your own research. Just stay away from Fox News. That's all I got to say. But and I guess Bill O'Reilly and Tucker Carlson and all them. But either way, moving on from that, listen, I don't care if I offended you. It was a joke. May have been a poor taste joke, but it's not me saying, hey, well, we killed, thank God we killed all this. Like, move past it. Stick with the subject. I'm sorry that what I said 20 minutes ago is still just stuck in your mind.
Might be watching on a delay.
No, apparently we're watching the live feed here. So, yeah. But on that note, it is a work night for me. I do have to start getting ready to go into work.
Okay.
Now, I could sit on this and talk for hours more about these subjects and just joke about things like with Anakin and Obi-Wan. But actually, can I say that really quick? That's one thing I'm actually disappointed that we got a series over as opposed to an actual movie. I would have loved to have seen an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor. The series is good.
How are we ever going to get around this gate?
What gates?
In Obi-Wan.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Some of the writing in that was pretty damn bad. But or it's like Darth Vader dragging him through the fire. I'm like, oh my god, he's going to screw him up now. Oh no, just like explosion. Ah no, like like and he runs off. Like, oh okay. Like Darth Vader was like he was like Jason Voorhees in that series. Like he's just like walking at a regular speed. He was catching up to Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of all that weird stuff, like come on, that end battle with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader was pretty badass. It would just be nice if they learned how lightsabers work because how many times I think I saw like 2 or 3 times where Obi-Wan just like beats him with a lightsaber. Like he hits the stormtrooper in the chest and it bounces off the chest. Like, oh, okay. They do that now, huh? All right.
Well, if you'll give me 2 minutes to wrap up our topic.
Yeah.
All right. I read the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. Some of them were pretty, chuckle worthy and all that. Yeah. Now, here's the thing when it comes to all of these movies, every single one of them to a T. Other than Titanic, which does get some pretty high audience reviews as well as critic ratings. Other than that particular movie, every single one of them is sort of a mid-level story range that has very basic storytelling elements. Mostly good versus evil. Pretty much all good versus evil. Where you go in, you want to see a spectacle where the hero will triumph in the end. And when it comes to making money, it would seem, at least according to this, the best way to draw in an audience is to make major set pieces, fill it with a lot of over the top action, and don't go too deep in the story. Don't try to overestimate your audience's ability to pay attention, because this right here, this very specific top 10 highest grossing films of all time, they all keep things very surface level.
Yeah.
They don't want you to invest too much into the story because they want you to be able to just kind of go in and out of the action and still follow along the plot. I think that's the moral of the story here when it comes to the highest grossing films of all time, because as it stands, the highest rated movies of all time are ones where you have to actively watch, your Citizen Kanes, your Shawshanks, the stuff that is made by...
Sticks around.
Yeah. They get the multiple viewings over decades rather than over, a few weekends.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's one thing I've noticed with a lot of those older movies, the ones that are actually worth watching. And I'm going to be very biased with this, but it's got a huge fan base, is Ghostbusters. And there's tons of memorable lines. So much that it's made it into the media. It's like almost a 40-year-old movie that has a lot of following. I don't see these Avatar movies. And you know what? I'm even going to be more controversial about this. I will go so far as to say that a lot of the Marvel movies will not have that fan following. A lot of them.
I think take back to the first as standalone movies, you're absolutely right, but they do have the fortunate or unfortunate classification of being part of one entire universe. So you really find it hard to just pick one out and go, okay, we're going to watch this.
Well, let's go with Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man kickstarted the entire MCU. I know the lines in Iron Man. I'm familiar with some of the lines, but nothing that seems to really just jump out in that movie. Like, the storyline, he deals with this shit. He gets taken prisoner. He finds out that his company is selling arms to terrorists, right? And he decides to shut down the weapons division of Stark Industries. That's great. Beyond that, name like a line in that movie that really stuck out, like it really resonated with you, that you're like, oh my God, this is a great line.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, outside of that, which actually did happen multiple times in the comic books too. But I know that was Robert Downey Jr. in the movie. But outside of that one line in the entire movie, because I can think of at least like 2 or 3 in Iron Man 2 that stuck out to me. But in Iron Man 1, outside of I Am Iron Man, because that was like the ending of the first movie, and that was his sign off as Iron Man in Endgame.
Amber chimes in with, "Can I get a burger?"
Can I get a burger? Was that an Iron Man? Like,
yeah, because he just got back from being held captive. And he's like, "Can I get a burger?" Or how about when he's like, "Oh, you want to take a selfie?" And she's like, and he's like, "No, put that away." Because peace is bad for business.
Oh, no. He's like, oh yeah, peace signs. That's great. Like, we'll be out of business with peace. Yeah, peace. Okay. All right. So, but either way, it's like it's one of those movies where it's like there's little lines, even like the ice problem, the icing problem. If you figure out the icing problem, you might want to look into it. And just like bops on my head, whatever. But the thing is, like, these are like looking back when I mentioned this. If I were to just say like, "Can I get a burger to you?" without mentioning Iron Man. I'm not saying like I am Iron Man, but if I was going like if I were to mention like, "Can I get a burger?" or if I were to like say something like, "Have you figured out the icing problem?" like whatever, you would never get it because you wouldn't know what I was talking about. Now, but if I were to say if I were to say like cross the streams, don't cross the streams.
Okay,
You know what I was talking to.
let's do just a real quick game of can we remember a line?
Okay.
Okay, can you remember any lines from the Avengers?
I'm always angry.
Puny God.
Puny God. What do you call it? Like I have an army. We have a Hulk.
Got a bunch
But
of
the thing
lines,
is, like,
right?
but but like the Avengers, there's a bunch of lines but there's a bunch of memorable moments because at least then you actually had all these characters that came together and created this movie, and like, all their personalities just like meshed.
See, just to throw
Bruce Banner saying, "You rented out my room," talking about the whole capsule that was on the helicarrier.
Thor Ragnarok has got a lot of great memorable lines.
It has a shit ton.
I know
But
him
like,
from work.
I think, yeah, and you know what? The fact that came from like a kid with cancer or whatever it was, I can't say cancer, whatever it was, a Make-A-Wish kid that was on set that said that he should say that. That kid, I hope to God
Lived.
Yeah. Like, I hope that kid overcame whatever ailment he has or had and went on or will go on to become a writer. We need that kind of verbiage from people.
Oh yeah, he's in the Writers Guild for sure.
They better make that kid an honorary member if he passed away.
And you know what? To give James Cameron some props. Like I said, Titanic's not anywhere near my favorite James Cameron movie, but you do have, as far as memorable lines, you know, what? Don't let go, Jack.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm king of the world.
His other movies, I'll Be Back. You know, stuff like Oscar La Vista Baby. Like, I mean, yeah, those are memorable lines. That's James Cameron when he was worth a damn. When he was still proving himself to be this upcoming legend back then.
Even Top Gun Maverick. Talk to me, Goose.
Oh God.
It's memorable, at least, right?
You know, Top Gun Maverick would have been better if Tom Cruise died. And I'm not saying that because I can't stand Tom Cruise. I'm saying that because, and honestly, actually, I'll also even say, and I spoke with Sue about this earlier. Top Gun would have been the same if that was not Goose's kid.
Yeah, pretty much.
If it was just the newest cocky ass fighter that just did not like Tom Cruise's, because if he didn't like Maverick because Maverick is the old news and he's the new news, it would have been the same story. But with Goose's kid, if Maverick, I liked the movie, and I remember got emotional when I saw that Maverick was blown up when he got hit, and everyone thought he died. I teared up. Like, I loved the first Top Gun movie. I'm like, oh my God, it's so
Star Wars
sad.
plays out.
But and then like also the kid's like, oh no, I'm alive now. I'm like, oh. I got up, I walked out. I'm like, no, he should have died. Because now they're talking about making another Top Gun movie. No, it's not special anymore. You destroyed it. If there was an ultimate sacrifice and the torch was passed to the next person, I could probably get behind it.
First of all, Top Gun was never special.
No, it wasn't. You're right. It was just a plain movie.
It's a Navy recruitment film from the 80s.
And I know, and they're all dealing with their own homosexuality. I get that. But the thing is, like, still, Quentin Tarantino, not me, okay? Tell me you've seen that video.
No.
You've never seen the video where, oh my God.
I can tell you.
I forget what movie it's from, but it is Tarantino breaking down. You know what? Can we post this on the show here real quick? If I send you the link, okay.
And what do you mean by post it on the show? Like leave it in the comments and
No. Like actually, like here.
Oh, like play it on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll move some stuff around. Guess we're gonna have some content to play for you fine folks.
Okay.
Brandon's just kind of looking
what's I can hear
on the internet. Certainly better than when he went for a sandwich earlier in the middle of the show.
It was a sandwich. It was a drink.
Oh, that's okay. Right. Walk forever.
All right, so it starts off around like the 30-second mark here. But there we go.
Yeah, just shoot that link over.
Now it's Tarantino, so this might break our one F-bomb per show rule.
No, we're also playing other people's content, so this episode's coming in town no matter what.
Breaking a few laws here, but it's all right.
Breaking the law.
There we go. I sent it to your messenger here, so you should have it.
Should, but don't.
Go check for it.
I just made the list. Oh, there we go. Notification. If you'll, let's see. Is it 30 seconds?
30 seconds, 30 seconds in.
Okay, here we go. Hold on, I don't think I set that up right. I'm going to mute myself because if I don't, it'll have a bit of an echo. No, it won't. It'll be fine.
What is Top Gun? You think it's a story about a bunch of fighter pilots?
Yeah, it's about a bunch of guys waving their dicks around.
It is a story about a man's struggle with his own homosexuality. That's it. That is what Top Gun is about, man. You've got Maverick, All right, he's on the edge, man. He's right on the fucking line. All right, and you got Iceman and all his crew.
Right.
They're gay. They represent the gay man.
Right.
All right, and they think, go the gay way, go the gay way. He could go both ways.
What about Kelly McGillis? Right?
Kelly McGill, she's heterosexuality. She's saying no. Go the normal way. Play by the rules. Go the normal way. And they're saying no. Go the gay way. Be the gay way. Go for the gay way. Right? That is what's going on throughout that whole movie. He goes to her house, right? All right. It looks like they're gonna have sex. You know, they're just kind of sitting back. He's taking a shower and everything. They don't have sex. He gets in the motorcycle, drives away. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Next scene, you see her. She's in the elevator. She is dressed like a guy. She's got the cap on. She's got the aviator glasses. She's wearing the same jacket that the Iceman wears. She is, okay, this is how I got to get this guy. This guy's going towards the gay way. So I got to bring him back. I got to bring him back from the gay way. So I'm going to do that through subterfuge. I'm going to dress like a man. All right? That is how she approaches it. But the real ending of the movie is when they fight the Migs at the end. All right? Because he has passed over into the gay way. They are this gay fighting fucking force. All right? And they're beating the Russians. The gays are beating the Russians. All right? And it's over. And they fucking land. And Iceman has been trying to get Maverick the entire time. Finally, he's got him. All right? And what is the last fucking line that they have together? They're all hugging and kissing and happy with each other. And Ice comes at the Maverick and he says, man, you can ride my tail anytime. And what does Maverick say? Maverick, you can ride my sword fight.
Okay. You've never seen that? You're on mute still.
I have not seen that, no.
Oh my God.
But it's just what I always thought about it.
God. Anyway, on that note, I do have to get going, man. I gotta get ready for work. All right. So
Kente saw that before.
okay, good. By the way, Kente, good to see you, buddy. And everyone else for commenting tonight, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys chiming in here. But I do have to get going. I've got to go get myself ready for work here. But not only is it Friday night, but it's my Friday night. So I'm off for the next 2 days. But do your thing. I'll let you do your final thoughts. Okay.
Yay. Permission.
Yay. I know, right? Yeah. It's been a good sized show. It's been an hour and a half. God. But I'm never going to see that movie the same way again. You're welcome. But all right, buddy, I'm going to get out of here. Everyone else have a great night. It's great to be back. It's good to see all of you guys. Yeah, we will see you this next Friday. I'm going to let Josh take it over and do his final thoughts. So Josh, it's all you, buddy.
All right. Get out of here, you scamp. Here we are. It's just us, and you know what that means. I get to play the music. It's been a while since we've played the music. Not a fan of that. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, thank you all for listening to the WADcast episode number 115. We've done this 115 times. Isn't that awesome? Well, in case you're wondering what else happens here, over at WADco Media at Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. It's 10 to 1. It's your favorite podcast about lists. It's where Jen and we come up with some crazy off-the-wall topic, film related, and do a top 10 list based around it. Next week's list, in honor of my birthday, which is not next week, by the way. It's a week from Monday. But in honor of my birthday, we're going to do our favorite films from 1982. It's the year I was born. Don't do math. I'm still young. So that is coming up next Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Thursday nights, it's TV Dinners, where Jen hosts a panel talking about all of the latest and greatest happenings in TV. You know, cool, behind-the-scenes stuff, breaking down stories, all those wonderful things. If you're a television fan, it is a must-watch/listen. So don't forget to tune in to TV Dinners. And, of course, every Friday night, it's us here at the WADcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Wow, that 5:30 Pacific just sticks into your brain. Anyway, Every Friday night to the Writers, Actors, Directors podcast, where we talk about all things writing, acting, directing, and everything in between. It is what we love to do. Next week will be episode number 116. If you want the social links and all of that great stuff, just go to wadcomedia.com. Find the appropriate socials, give it the appropriate likes, leave some comments. Let everybody know how you feel about Wadco Media and our fine productions. Also, go to moviesandmeals.com. It's a great website by Jen that ties recipes and film and television. You know, one inspires the other. Whew. So, I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's give the final thoughts. Because, contrary, I mean, if you're your first time listening, all of the plugs are the plug. That's not the final thought. The final thought is this: I've said 114 times before, and I'm saying for 115th time, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. If you want to do something creative, then you have to just do it. If you want to be a writer, you start writing. If you want to be a director, start directing. You got a phone. If you want to be an actor, start acting. You got a mouth, I guess. Say things, say words that are already written down. And just do it. And start doing it today. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You are the only thing standing in between you and what you want to do. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to step right into it and become a high-paid whatever. But the very journey of getting there begins with doing the first thing. And that first thing can start today. It can start tonight. It can start right now. I shared a link on the WADcast Facebook page recently. And it was an article from this director that said that, you know, it was why I filmed my movie with an iPhone. And the caption was, your first movie doesn't need to be great, it needs to be made. So that's what it is. Start making. Put it out there. What the world thinks doesn't really matter. At least at least you're getting out there and doing the damn thing. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Love you, Amber. I hope you join us each and every week for all of our fine Wadco shows and join us in our conversations, having fun, going off the rails, and just being here in the moment. I'm Josh. That other guy that was here was Brandon. And we'll see you next week. That was really weird. I don't know what to make of that. Just everything went away. And the show's still on the air.